Hello, Darcie Mae here. It's Sunday story time. Got my snuggly old Princess Foxy, Lady of Maine. We're gonna wait just a minute here for give people a minute to get ready for story time. We've got a fun story today. Annie and Natalie are all ready. Hello out there. Are you all ready for story time? Just a moment. Well, okay, I think we're about ready. It says 2:30. Welcome to Sunday story time with me, Darcie Mae, Princess Foxy, Lady of Maine, and her daughters over here, Annie and Natalie. Sandy and Natalie, and we got little Squirt and little Chi-Chi up on top. Everybody's ready. Today we are reading Tabor, the Talking Tree by Darcie Mae. There is a tiny town called Tabor by name. There is a special tree there, I've heard some children say. This tree is very old and has grown very big. It sits upon a hill. There are no more like it. The tree is very wise. Children say it can talk. Kids gather around it. It's not that far to walk. Children who have troubles or have questions to ask will go to this grand tree, and answers it will give them back. The tree's name is Tabor. That's what the kids call it. Tabor the Talking Tree. The name rings out perfect. Tabor the Talking Tree only speaks to children. He gives them good advice or answers their questions. Adults have never heard Tabor the Talking Tree. They think the children are all playing make-believe. Children no longer tell adults what they have heard from the big wise old tree that has the name Tabor. The town of Tabor, remember, is tiny. That means it only has just a few families. Each family you'll find has only 2 children. Most of the time you'll find all the kids are good friends. But once in a while the Tabor children have a fight, argue, or will have a question to ask. The children do not go to their parents. Instead, they will go to Tabor, and up the hill they do head. It was in the summer of 2009. Now in traveling and Tabor I did find. That's when I learned about Tabor the Talking Tree. I followed the kids when they saw and ran from me. It was on Tuesday when I found Tabor town. I walked down the main road without making a sound. The adults must have been all busy in their homes, 'cause I did not see one as I walked down the road. I could hear children or boys and girls as they played. I walked that direction. Hello, kids, I did say. The kids were afraid 'cause I'm a stranger to them. They ran away from me. Yes, all the children. The boys and girls ran fast. They were moving quickly up the hill to the top, to the great big grand tree. I hurried behind them, but did not get too close. They were up to something, and this I had to know. The children stopped in front of the tree on the hill. I stopped behind them and I stood quiet and still. All of a sudden, a miracle I did see. The kids said, "Hi, Tabor." A face came on that tree. And I mean a whole face. 2 eyebrows and 2 eyes. 1 nose and 1 mouth too on the face I did find. It was also smiling. Happy to see the kids. It spoke. It said, "Hello." I could not believe it. The tree asked the kids, "How may I help you today?" Tabor, the children said, a stranger came our way. He walked up close to us. We don't know what to do. We needed some advice and came running to you. This is the first time a stranger came to our town. Please tell us what to do. Then silence. Not a sound. Tabor the talking tree looked around with its eyes. It thought of what to say. Tabor is old and wise. Then it began talking, and this is what it said. You're smart to come see me. You were using your head. You have seen a stranger or someone you don't know. You ran here to see me. You ran quickly, not slow. Some strangers are nice, and some strangers can be mean. You all did the right thing by coming here to me. Unless someone you trust, like your mom or your dad, your grandpa or grandma, or a sibling you have, introduces you to the stranger that has come and tells you that person is safe to talk to. Some, you should keep your distance, or all of you should stay a long ways away from the stranger to be safe. Now I want you all to hurry back to your homes. Tell your parents about the stranger you don't know. Then your parents can find the stranger in our town. They'll introduce themselves as soon as he is found. They'll learn all about him and if he's mean or safe. If mean, they'll make him leave. If safe, then he can stay. Do what I say, children. Back home, you must hurry. The kid said, thank you to Tabor, the talking tree. I hid behind a rock. I was quiet and still. I watched the children as they hurried down the hill. When they were out of sight, I walked up to that tree. I walked all around it. Nothing odd did I see. I moved a little more. Close to it I did stand. I reached out slowly and I touched it with my hand. The tree trunk felt just like any others I've touched. The bark's rough on my hands, as gentle it I rubbed. I looked around to make sure no one could see me. Then I said, hello, to Tabor the talking tree. Nothing happened, so I said, hello. One more time. No sounds and no movements and no face did I find. I was a bit confused. I thought of what I'd seen. I knew a face was on this great big grand wise tree. I started to wonder if I'd made a mistake. But no, I knew I saw that tree talking this day. I wanted to know more about this big old tree. Back to Tip Middle Town I walked very quickly. Adults and children were all inside of their homes. I saw some of them as they looked out their windows. I was almost at the end of the road when I did hear a door open and a man stepped outside. I was looking at him. He was looking at me. He waved and said, hello. Who's this stranger I see? I walked towards this house and walked up to this man. I said, my name is Joe. I'd like to shake your hand. He said, well, hello, Joe. What brings you to our town? Tip Middle is tiny. Our small town you have found. I said I was outside today in the bright sun. I decided to go for a walk and have fun. I walked for a while when I heard children at play. I followed their noises that brought me here today. I have a family and children of my own. I'm no threat to your town. I thought that you should know. The man said, my name is Timothy Tip Middle. My family moved first to this town that's little. Shortly after all the other families came, we got together and decided our town's name. Because I was here first, they named it after me. They chose Tip Middle, my last name, not Timothy. You seem like a nice man. Welcome to our town, Joe. Let me introduce you to some others. Let's go. Timothy Tip Middle opened his front door and said, come, my family, come and meet this nice man. Timothy's wife and kids outside the house did go. He said, I would like you to meet this man named Joe. He came to our town while I walking on this day. He is just visiting for a short while. He'll stay. I would like you to take time and show Joe around. It will not take us long. Tip Middle's a small town. While Timothy walked with me on this sunny day, the children gathered and once again went to play. I was no longer a stranger they did not know. I'm not mean. I am nice. I am friendly also. After Timothy had showed me Tip Middletown, we stopped and had a rest. On a bench we sat down. When I was all rested, I did thank Timothy. I stood up and I said, it's time for me to leave. I waved goodbye and left. While walking, I did hear the children's voices and the talking tree. They're near. I snuck up behind them. Not a noise did I make. The children thanked the tree for its advice this day. I heard, thank you, Tabor. Thank you for the advice. We know we can trust you. You're wise. You're always right. Then just as earlier, I could see the tree's face. You are welcome, children, Tabor the tree did say. I was so excited I could not help myself. I asked, how does he talk? Will someone please me tell? The children were surprised, but they were not afraid. When they turned towards me, the tree had lost its face. One of the children spoke and said, well, hello, Joe. How Tabor talks to us, none of us really know. He only talks to kids when adults aren't around. His face disappears when an adult he has found. As kids come to Tabor for answers or advice, we know we can trust him. He's wise. He's always right. Our parents do not think Tabor's a talking tree. They think we are silly and playing make-believe. We must now ask you, Joe, do not tell our secret. I said, do not worry, only I will know it. The children were happy. They said, we thank you, Joe. I said, you are welcome. It's time for me to said, we thank you, Joe. I said, you are welcome. It's time for me to go. I waved bye to the kids. The kids waved bye to me. I left Tip Middletown and I walked home happily. That's how I learned about the town named Tip Middle and the tree named Tabor that sits on top a hill. I've kept the secret of the Tabor, the talking tree, for a very long time, tucked deep inside of me. I hadn't told a soul, at least until today. Now I've shared it with you. Secret, it still must stay. Children know that adults won't believe their story, so don't tell them about Tabor, the talking tree. Keep the story in you. Only share it with kids. They are the only ones who'll truly believe it. That's all I have to say about that old wise tree. And thank you for listening. Now done is my story. Well, there. That's it. That's the end of our story. Tabor the talking tree. I sure hope you enjoyed it. And now at the end of our Sunday story times, we have a little end of story time song. Are you ready? Here we go. Goodbye to all our friends. Our story time is done. Goodbye to all of you. It has been lots of fun. Thank you all for coming. We love each one of you. Here's a warm hug from me, the princess, and her daughters, too. Yep, Annie and Natalie. Well, okay. we'll see you next Sunday for story time. And I believe it is the first Sunday, which is May 1st. So it's going to be a special Peebly story time. So if you want to hear that story, you need to go to my Facebook page and go to the event and get signed up to hear it. Okay. Bye-bye for now, our friends. And we'll see you a little later with an evening thought from the princess. Have a great afternoon. See you in a little while.